All right, Mike, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
For some reason we had the stream just reset. Not quite sure what that was all about, but we are back up. I'm not. It was like a few seconds. It just went off. Um, but like I said, we're still up. I'm gonna put a quick message in the chat. Yep. No, I know. Stream was down. I was really hoping this wouldn't happen again, but it happened. All right, here we go. 5 red lights, and we are off.
We see some. Oh, we have a bit of an event. It looks like at the back of the race.
It looks like there is going to be a
Oh,
restart. It looks like there is going to be a restart. There was some sort of host migration problem. So, real quick, we are going to hop out of this lobby. My screen is stuck in a black screen. Don't you just love EA servers, Mike?
just the best. Doesn't everyone love them?
You know, at least we're having the technical difficulties off the bat and not 5, 6, 7 laps into the race. Real quick, I do have a replay of that start for shits and gigs here. Just to see what happened at the back. It looked like there was a few guys that didn't get any sort of start. They just sat parked in their starting positions. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this lobby. Yeah, no, it looks like there's at least 4 drivers completely unresponsive on the starting grid. I don't know if that was an early start. Maybe someone had readied up too early. There typically is about a 5-minute break, so that was pretty quick. That might be the issue at hand. But we will go ahead and get this lobby back up and running. And while I'm at it, I will send out the stream link again. Well, I guess the good news is the stream crashed at the very end of qualifying. So we'll just say it was just a qualifying stream. How about that? Pretend it was intentional. I'm curious to hear what the problem was with that start. Claptrack in the chat asking if it's going to be a dry race still. So I'd imagine they're going to keep the same weather, of course, the same grid. This might take a few minutes to get this lobby kicked off. And as I suspected, it looks like someone did ready up a little bit too early there, and there was a handful of drivers not quite ready. Might have been working on their setups or their strategy. A lot of racers ready to go, eager to get out on track. We'll throw on some music while we wait. Might be another couple minutes.
Actually, this little break is a quick check-in for my flight tomorrow morning.
Bye. Yo, pulled up to the set when I heard that brutal sound of the bass. Start to feel like I'm dreaming, man should have seen that look on my face. But I'm so low key, I'm an anonymous G that I left no trace. But when I step one foot in the room, I'ma set this pace. I feel like king of the hill when they're never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound, better rise up when I shut this down. I feel like king of the hill when they're never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound, better rise up when I shut this. Yeah. My God. Yeah. I feel like king of the hill when they're king of the hill. My God. Yeah, yeah. It feels like murder, murder. Setting them alight when I lit that flame. Try pulling up side by side for the race, just realize that we're in a different lane. Yeah, see I'm out here killing the game. How can you claim that we're living the same? See in reality we ain't on a similar stage. You're sitting in the crib while I'm singing my name. That flames, whole of the city on lock. The coldest flows and the cream of the crop. We've them bees with a lean and a bop. Got a phone line ringing to the hit don't stop. I feel like king of the hill when they're never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound, better rise up when I shut this down. I feel like king of the hill when they're never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound, better rise up when I shut this. Yeah. My God. Yeah. I feel like king of the hill when they're king of the hill. My God. Yeah.
All right, and we are back. Slight delay. Had to get the lobby reorganized and make sure the grid order is correct. Just had a slight...
I'm back. Apologies for the...
Oh, no worries. Just in time. We're getting started for the second race start of the day. And we will still have a 3-minute break this time, which was the original plan, just to let everyone work on their setups and their strategies. And we can kick this thing off for real this time. So as mentioned before in the original race start, it was a dry start, I believe. And as I say that, it's raining.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure if that was intentional. He may have forgot to change the settings. We'll see if they want to run with the rain. At this point, I almost think the best option is to go ahead and send it. We don't want to deal with the third restart, but we'll see what the people say. Coming from the commentator's booth, I'd be more than happy to commentate over a wet race. But for those drivers expecting the dry conditions after the first race start, I don't know if they're going to agree.
Yeah, personally, I would actually be surprisingly intrigued to see a wet race, not just because it would eliminate DRS and make for a little bit more exciting racing from a pure racing perspective, but I think it's going to propose potentially a really interesting challenge because Japan is typically a really low downforce track. So this could really push some of these cars to their absolute limits.
I hate to be the guy to announce this, but we're restarting.
Part of me crying in the corner.
We will be restarting for a third time tonight. I believe. It already migrated hosts. I'd imagine LK has already left the session. So I'd imagine the majority of the people in the voice chat probably weren't happy about the rain, especially given...
They were going to have a very sunny, beautiful session, which we already lined up for them before the first restart. So as much as I love a good challenge, I don't blame the people for wanting to restart and just give everything a clean, fresh slate, and hopefully some really beautiful weather here for a good old-fashioned race.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and cue the music, and we'll be back in another 5.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Increasing my strength when I remember myself. Life can be hard, but it's what we do. Take it to the top. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I'm crawling around, searching for higher ground. Can't see in front of me, my enemies. I've tried every possibility, ability to know if I can bleed. If that's what you wanted, you won't get it tonight. 'Cause I can fly. I'm crawling around, searching for higher ground. Can't see in front of me, my enemies. I've tried every possibility, ability to know if I can bleed. If that's what you wanted, you won't get it tonight. 'Cause I can fly. I can fly.
sweet embrace. Now you're saying you need time and that you need your space, and you don't know if things will ever be the same. Well, I will wait for you, and I'll do anything that you want me to. Just let me into your heart. Let me into your heart. Just let me into your heart. Let me into your heart.
All right, third time's the charm. We are back for the official race start here. And I came to realize, unfortunately, I think our stream over the qualifying session, I don't think it recorded properly. But at this point, the stream would be so long anyhow. We can just quick review the qualifying results once we get started here. Mike, are you coming through clear?
Yes, I am.
All right, third time's the charm. It's almost like flying Southwest Airlines with all these delays, but we are getting underway here. Clear weather. Grid is in order, I believe it should be. You can always double check here once we load in. And we are sticking to the 50%er, so it's going to be a 27 lap race around Suzuka in dry weather. For the guys who did alter their setup at all for the qualifying, no way to really know if they'll stick to those same setups. Honor code is in play, but I'd imagine we'll see a bit lower downforce coming into this fully dry session. There isn't a cloud in sight.
Yeah, and now I think the interesting question is how much are people going to try to decide if they want to push early on a set of softs, or if they're going to start with intermediates, or God forbid, they even try to start off with a set of hards and try to make it last. Because I think with how long the track is, there's a chance you might need to stretch a set of hards for the rest of it to make a one-stop strategy viable for this race.
I think the one-stop strategy will be the end goal here. I would say I'd be surprised to see some guys start on soft tires. It's a very high degradation track, and if you're running any sort of soft tire, it would be tough to even go soft to hard, frankly. I think your best bet here is going to be to stick to a medium to hard strategy. You could make a soft work, and we certainly could see some softs come into play if there's a safety car. But I'd be surprised to see a few guys start on those softs, of course, unless they're trying to make moves up the field early and get some track advantage or position advantage to start the race. I believe we're giving it, or they said, I think 2 or 3 minutes. I know this is our third time around, so I think they're trying to keep it to 2 minutes max for these setups, and we'll get this underway. Now, without seeing the leaderboard, now that it's been a good 30-40 minutes, it was Late Bloomer who took pole position, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Mike?
I do believe.
Yep, I think he had basically held pole position through the entirety of qualifying. On the intermediate tire, he was a good half second ahead of the rest of the field, and we had a lot. He was at 135 and some change. I know we had someone at 135 as well, the driver who's lining up P2, and a lot of 37s behind them in the midfield. So based on that early qualifying session and tentative pace pending the rain and the intermediate tires, top of the field looks strong, but we do have close competition from about P4 to P10, and then another group. Oh, here we go. 5 red lights, and we are off. It appears everybody is ready. We do have a Mercedes getting a real slow start there in the back of the grid. Around turn 1 we go. Late Bloomer keeps it clean clean around the field thus far.
So far, so good. And it looks like we have a clean race underway at long last.
At long last, indeed. Closest battle off the gates here. We do have AK3000 in the Mercedes. He's running right up onto the back of Straggly Rex in 4th. Everyone keeping it tidy through the S's here.
And
Late bloomer.
overall, not a lot of position changes so far.
I did see a position change. Looks like Jazzbo moved
Yeah,
up past Born Ready into P2.
Jasper started P2. He's staying in with his current starting position.
They may have gone wheel to wheel there.
AK3000 has dropped 2 spots from P4 to P6 as Straggly Rex and Sammy Cush have both moved up a spot. Man, this is some exciting racing here, folks.
Yeah, and it's
We are
clean
getting
too.
I'm a little surprised we got it so clean because usually the S's after that first turn can get a little hairy.
Especially on the cold tires coming off of a race start. Everyone keeps it together. There might have been a few track limit warnings on these cold tires. Drivers trying to get control over the car. But all remains well. Agog is coming up onto the inside. He goes wide, and he's trying to re-enter the track there. No major collision or damage.
Oh, and Don
Deuce
Dukes
gets the
makes a
move
move.
done. No DRS, keep in mind, but he gets it
ERS only, and that's going to be enough. Oh, and we have a spin out. It looks like Late Bloomer got a little bit wide. He is going to rejoin the track, but he does lose a couple of places where Jazzbo, Born Ready, and Straggly Rex are absolutely going to capitalize on that.
So that is a shocking turn of events there. Late Bloomer falling down 5 positions. He will be fighting to get back up at the top. We already have a penalty for track limits from Born Ready, it looks like. That is going to hurt in the long run. I'm sure he's still trying to fire up those tires and get this car under control.
But ultimately, Born Ready, I'm not too worried about that for him because right now he's just battling for first. And overall, if he keeps the race pace that he's had over the first 2 races, despite the DNF last week, he's had phenomenal pace for all of the first 2 races. So I wouldn't be surprised if he still ends up with some very strong points, barring some unforeseen events, either a safety car or some other shenanigans from some of the other drivers here.
Looks like Clapjack may have made a couple moves there, at least one overtake down the 2nd straight. Oh, and we have contact and a spin. It looks like he might have gotten some contact to his rear diffuser there. He goes sideways, loses a couple positions, and rejoins. Might have been a little damage there, but doesn't look like anything too severe. I believe there might have been...
And Born Ready to overtake first place. Highly unfortunate didn't get to see that.
Well, everyone sorts themselves out. I do have a replay from the race start. All very clean. Getting through turn 1 and the S's with very minimal contact. A couple overtakes. Yeah, Born Ready had actually made the move into turn 1 on Jazzbo. Jazzbo did fight to get that position back, though. Agog looking to make a move on his teammate 6Char. The 2 Haas's go wheel to wheel. Gaining speed around the corner here, getting into Spoon Curve. And it looks like Agog will go ahead and take that place with ease. Field is still packed between P9 through essentially P14. It is anybody's race here in the midfield. Ooh! Peak Hour goes wide there.
Oh, and we get a clean overtake from Jazzbo to take first place in the DRS zone.
Very nice. DRS is now active. And we've got our 2 leaders here already extending their pace and their distance here from the rest of the field. They are now 2.4 seconds up on Straggly Rex, who's holding that final podium position. We do
and it looks
have...
like there's an incident. Optimus Time's going into the pit lane. I think he might have sustained a little bit of damage, so he might need to.
And he's hit with a 10-second penalty. I think what it was, he might have been going into the pits, and he's just going to.
Oh, and he's retired for the session.
He may have actually ran into the pit wall on his way in. That's what appeared to have happened.
So I'm not surprised he's DNFing. It's a bit of an unfortunate turn of events, but when you have a 10-second penalty, front wing damage, and you're already set up you already lose time from trying to reset back onto the pit track, it's just a tough set of circumstances to overcome.
Agog is going to be looking to make another move. He's already up 3 positions, and he's looking to make it 4. Up on the rear diffuser of Late Bloomer, who, keep in mind, was our pole position sitter to start this race. He has found himself in P7, falling 3 seconds behind Don Duch in P6, and he's got a very eager Haas on his diffuser trying to make this move. Coming into Casio Triangle, he doesn't get it done, but he's going to have the DRS launch here. Pretty solid exit velocity. We do have the Alpine Captain Clapjack also with the DRS. We're going to be looking at potentially a 2, maybe even 3 wide if this Aston Martin makes their way up around the first corner. Agog keeps it clean but does not get the position on Late Bloomer. We'll very quickly move back up to Born Ready and Jazbo, who again extend their lead even further. 4 seconds ahead of Straggly Rex in the Ferrari. Born Ready still sitting, of course, on that 3-second penalty. We do have another yellow flag. It looks like there might have been someone who came loose there. It looks like it may have been LK. He has a little bit of front left wing damage. One of the M plates there is missing. He might be able to tough it out, but it's certainly going to have an impact on his overall pace for the remainder of the race. So Clapjack and Agog still in DRS range of Late Bloomer. We will keep an eye on that down the final straight, but in the meantime, we do have a battle up at the top once again. Jazbo and Born Ready. Born Ready with a great launch into the final straight. DRS has been deployed, and he's going to cleanly make that overtake and find himself in first once again. AK goes on the inside.
But Straggly Rex with some very tough defense here. He does not want to let him through at all.
So we'll keep an eye. We have a couple different battles going on. We have the battle for P3 for the last podium position. We of course have the battle for first, and then we have the battle for 8th, which at this point we still have Rogan and Clapjack only 3/10 behind each other. That'll be one to keep an eye on for the remainder of the race. We do have another yellow flag.
One of the Williams Monster 0926 has a bit of a spin. He's going to remain in this race, but that is going to hurt his time.
Born Ready only managed to pull out about 3/10. He's going to still leave Jazbo in that DRS range, who will certainly be looking to take back that first place. And again, slingshot themselves even further ahead with this race lead.
Yep, and that's just going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy for Jazbo, who's got a full tank of ERS and DRS. It's just too easy.
AK has the DRS. He's not gaining too much time. My guess would be Straggly might be running a bit lower of a downforce setup. He's got pretty solid straight line speed even without the DRS flap open. We'll go ahead and take down these details here. And Agog, once again, he's been patiently waiting for this opportunity. He is once again.
Ooh, and Don Duch with an excellent overtake over Sammy Cush. He's now putting himself up into P5.
And we have our second penalty of the day. This is going to 6 char. Again, another track limit warning. Certainly is not the first, and it will not be the last.
Oh,
As I
speaking
say
of double,
that-
there's
As
another
I say
3-second time penalty for track limits.
So Sammy Kush, though, is not going to make this easy for Don Dujas. Now he's going to have to defend. And his lights are blinking, so he's going to be running out of ERS here. And Sammy Kush is going to be eager to get back into that P5 position. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at AK, who has a great launch out of the final corner. And the DRS advantage, but he's still not really gaining too much. He's going to peak at the inside, but he just doesn't have quite the speed in the into that first corner. Sammy Kush appears to have made the move over Don Duch, so he falls back into P6. Late Bloomer has just fallen out of DRS range, or there he goes, back into DRS range through the S's. He's carrying quite a bit of speed around those corners, and he's going to be back in the fight for that P5 position. And following him, Captain Clapjack, Agog, and Elon Rogan, all within that DRS train. It's going to be a matter of who can save up the most battery and who can outlast each other, avoiding mistakes. So Sammy Kush has fallen down 3.3 from AK. AK still getting a tow from Straggly, but certainly having a bit of difficulty getting by. They're making up the vast majority of their time in the first sector of the track, but they're not. It looks like they're losing maybe a little bit of time on the straights. He did fall under DRS range, so we're going to see AK go for another run. Jazzbo gets overtaken by Born Ready going into the first corner there. Another change for the lead, and all the while they extend that gap to 8.5 seconds. Straggly Rex once again defends from AK. AK remains in that DRS range. Straggly just, again, holding the pace through the straights, having no trouble, and really not even too much of a threat of an overtake going into turn 1 so far. Late Bloomer and the rest of the crew here fighting for P5, bunched up as ever. All 4 of them within about 3 seconds of each other. I'm eager to see who's going to be the first one to make a big move here, and or who's going to be the first one to make a mistake. We do have a little bit of a lockup there. Late Bloomer looks like the front left tire locking up into the
and
hairpin.
Clapjack is trying to make a move on his teammate, Sammy Kush, but he's not going to be able to get it done. Just not enough room.
I was going to say,
he's
he
got to be
did have a
careful.
little bit of a peek at
Little
that
bit of
inside.
contact.
And he
now goes
loses the
wide, and he
position
gives up
to
his
the
spot
Haas.
with Agog. He got a little greedy, and his hand got caught in the cookie jar.
So Agog gets it done, but he's going to be fighting back immediately. Getting the tow from the Haas through the non-DRS straight there. And we're probably going to see another attack at the Williams here coming into the final couple
he got a
corners.
spin.
Oh, and we have a
Sammy
big bit of
Kush.
contact.
Sammy Kush he took damage, and who's the other car? I can't tell.
Ooh.
Was it Agog?
I will pull up the replay here in a second. I did pull it up. I did get the recording. Now we do have a couple cars going wheel to wheel around the first corner. The Williams does get the inside line, and will take that position for 6th. Don Duch benefits from that interaction there. He is now up by 2.5 seconds in front of Late Bloomer. We'll go ahead and take a quick peek at what exactly happened going into the final set of corners there. Or it was exiting the final corner. Looks like a couple cars involved there. Sammy Kush, and I couldn't catch the other one. I'll keep that
Is it
replay
Agog?
up for another run.
Was it? It might have been one of the Haas's. I know both Alpines
It must have
were
been.
duking it out.
It must have been.
But
Yeah, I believe you're right. Yep. So neither sustaining major damage. It looks like just a little bit of contact there sent both of them to the outside of the track.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I wonder if either of them are going to be heading to the pits to not just sort through any front wing damage they may or may not have sustained, but it'll give them a chance to swap to hards that they can then ride out for the rest of the race.
Absolutely. We do have another yellow. And I'm trying to see... Ooh, it looks like it was Monster in some sort of...
Oh, yeah, he is just having a hard time.
Some sort of
here.
scuffle
His
with
tires are
LK.
overheated.
I believe there was some sort of scuffle. There might have been an overtake into that hairpin. And he's certainly trying to cool down those tires.
And AK just is staying right on the tail of Straggly Rex. He is looking for any possible window to overtake, and he's just not getting the opportunity.
Like I said, I think he's just running a much higher downforce setup, and it's costing him here. Trying to get that track position, but the DRS just hasn't been enough.
Oh no!
We do have another incident.
Yep, it appears Bootsy around turn 5.
Bootsy got loose, and he's also got a little bit of damage. We also have another car parked on track, it looks like. Monster's definitely having a bit of a hard time just getting those tires under control. Wouldn't be a bad time, I was just about to say, wouldn't be a bad time to hop into the pits there, throw on a set of fresh tires, and get locked back into this race. Born Ready is our current leader, so he must have recently taken over Jazbo, who was holding out that lead for some time. And another yellow flag. Looks like that might have been one of the Mercedes. We're certainly having a lot of yellow flags here in these final two corners.
I don't think that yellow flag, that might just be a glitch, because it seems like all the cars are racing well. Oh, it looks like Monster 0926 is calling it a session. He will not, it does not appear that he is going to be returning to the race.
Oh, what is going on? It looks like... Who did I see that just got passed on track there? I don't know if they were taking damage. They must have been leaving the pit lane, but almost made contact, kept it clean. So, for our drivers that...
Oh, was that AK 3000? Because he's now got a significant gap, not just to Straggly Rex, but now Don Dooch and Captain Clapjack are right on his tail. Oh, and Don Dooch with the slick move to take P4. And Clapjack is appearing to get P5. AK, that's just two back-to-back overtakes for Don Dooch and Clapjack to send AK 3000 down to 6th place. There is just some awfully aggressive driving that is just absolutely riveting stuff to see.
It absolutely is.
Oh, and we might see Captain Clapjack make a move to move up to P4 ahead of Don Dooch.
Making another move
Captain
here.
Clapjack,
No DRS needed.
Really, Captain Clapjack with an impressive opening half of this race, up 6 places from his initial qualifying position from P10 up to P4.
Now to see if he can hold this, although he won't need to. He's going into the pits. We'll see what he pits to. I'd imagine we're going to be looking at the hards here.
I'd imagine too, with the tire degradation we're seeing, I have a feeling we're starting to see some drivers lose confidence in their tires. And yep, Clapjack is going to be using a fresh set of hards that will likely last him the rest of this race.
So he'll just have to hope we don't run into any safety cars too soon here. He's going to want to see the rest of the field get into those pits too. Otherwise, he'll have lost quite a bit of track position, being one of the earliest drivers to get into the pit lane there. And coming out of the pits, he has immediately. He's got late bloomer looking to make a move.
And Bootsy appears to have an incident at a Cario Triangle.
And yeah, and he's got some very unsettled tires right now.
Yes, he does, and he retired from the session.
So that was it for him.
That was it for him, and hopefully the car position doesn't affect Born Ready and Jazbo coming through.
Okay, well, it looks like they're both pitting, so our drivers here in P1 and P2 both pit, avoid making any damage with Bootsy's AI, who looks to He's still making their way around track. They might cause some problems later. It might have been wise to get that car into the pits before retiring.
And Born Ready and Jazbo will both have a fresh set of hards that they're going to be warming up. And it looks like they'll be able to get through the pit lane before the rest of the crowd gets in.
Stragley's going to go ahead and put himself onto
and
a
we're
set of
seeing
hards
the
as well.
masses start to pit and swap out.
Ooh, Don Duch.
Almost
That might have been an
incident.
unsafe release from the AI there. But either way, Don Duch is going to come in. We have a whole slew of drivers coming in, all of which would appear to be hopping onto those hard tires.
Yeah, that is correct. Everyone seems to be swapping from mediums to hards.
So everyone's on these fresh set of hards. Late Bloomer did get in the pits a couple laps early. He was one of the first ones to dive in. Peak Hour as well. Speaking of which, Peak Hour just made his way back up to P12, passing the couple guys still finishing up their pit stop. Now, interestingly enough, we do have Sixchar, who has been on the hards all race. Now, he does get the track position here in third, but he has yet to pit. So it's going to be a matter of seeing how long he can extend these hards out in hopes of a safety car before the time he's planning on pitting. I'd imagine probably in the next 5 laps. It could pay
And
off
honestly,
for him,
I think
but
that's we have a car going into the barrier, sustaining damage, and it looks like that's
it's
gonna...
Late Bloomer.
Yeah, he's still fighting to see if he can finish this race. That is gonna be tough to come back from, though.
Watching for any damage here. He does a McLaren looking to make a move. Dirty Agent right on his tail here. Keep in mind, Dirty Agent still needs to pit, and he
and
spins
there's another
again.
spin.
It looks like those tires again are just unsettled from that first
And
visit
I'm
to
telling
the
you,
pit.
I saw significant damage to that car. I think he just doesn't have the downforce necessary to make some of these high-speed turns. He's just going to have to be comfortable yielding position here until he gets himself to the pits to not just get a fresh set of tires, or at the very least cool down his existing tires, because he's still only on 2-lap hards. But he also might have to manage this wing damage.
So here we go.
Yep, and he's going to the pit lanes. It takes more damage coming in.
It looks like
and
he's going to DNF as
retire
well.
from the session.
What a change, or what a turn of events. Late Bloomer coming from an excellent qualifying session, taking pole by several car lengths, and finding himself in the pits, ending his race earlier than any of us would have expected. A lot of action here between our between P8 through P10. So Sammy Kush, Peak Hour, and AK all fighting for this 8th position, all of which currently as it stands will be in the points. But as we all know, every point matters.
Absolutely, and it appears as though most of these drivers are starting to settle in. Peak Hour is really seeing a good window to score some points here for McLaren, as he is in P9 and very much on the tail of Sammy Kush in P8.
I would like to take a minute to note that Born Ready not only has set the fastest lap, but he's now 2 seconds ahead of Jazbo in P2, and I can only imagine he's trying to extend this lead out as far as possible and run away with this one with only 11 laps remaining. Jazbo will desperately be trying to get back in that DRS range. He's got a blinking light, so his ERS has been deployed. And he's now 2.5 seconds behind. So that's going to be an uphill battle for Jazbo, assuming that Born Ready is going to be able to manage his tires for the remainder of the race. Meanwhile, battle for P8 continues. AK is down 3.2 seconds. I don't know if there was a mistake made, but it looks like he's fallen back quite a bit. Peak Hour, on the other hand, is still within 2/10, and he's going to be fighting for that 8th position, currently held by Sammy Kush. Sammy Kush now on their 2nd lap of these hards. They're likely now firing those up, getting those into the optimal range.
And I think we're going to see some movement here for the battle for P3, as Sixchar's hards are just starting to give out, and he's just pushing those hards to their absolute limits. And Clapjack on the fresh hards is going to be able to overtake him here soon, maybe. Yes, he is. And I think this is going to be the time for Six Char to go into the pits here very soon, as he's going to continue to lose time. Nope, he's going to stay out and continue trying to fight on these 15-lap old tires.
Yeah, and you know, at least for this next lap, he's still within DRS range of Clapjack. He can take advantage of that toe for another lap or two if he stays within that range before pitting, and of course staying out, ideally looking for that safety car, but we haven't seen one all week this far. No safety cars on Tuesday, and as it stands today, we just had a couple yellow flags, certainly some incidents, but no safety cars as of yet. Picard and Sammy Cush still battling it out. Looks like there may have been an attempt at an overtake there. So interestingly enough, the 4 drivers that we have currently DNF'd, all of which appear to be self-inflicted. I don't think we've had a single car DNF on track. Japan, although it is quite a technical track on in a lot of different ways. Lot of variety in terms of the different high speed, medium speed, and low speed hairpin. There is a lot of runoff for the most part, so most of these incidents we're not seeing the safety car come out. We're not seeing the damage that you would at a handful of other tracks we'll be seeing later this season. As I say that, we do have another yellow, but I believe it was just a spin.
It should be cleared up. Yep, it just was a spin to the hairpin. I believe it was Silky 06410.
So
Had a little bit of that, but he is back under control. As Six Char goes back into the pits, he's made it last as long as he can, and now it seems like he is going to be serving his penalty in the pits as he moves on to a fresh set of medium tires. I'm a little surprised. He made the tires last so long. I thought there was a chance that he might be able to make a set of softs and last at the end of the race here.
Very good chance he could have, but I like the medium call. It's safe. We all know how Suzuka is a tough track on tires. Degradation is brutal here, depending on your setup. But regardless, the mediums will be giving him a huge advantage over Agog here once he gets him fired up after the next lap or so. Everyone else seems to be sorting themselves out. Now again, the top 2 drivers here, Jasper has fallen back further down to 3 seconds. But the gap to P3, up to 20 full seconds, essentially almost a pit stop's worth. And I don't know exactly what the timing is of the pit stops here in Suzuka, but quite a bit of time there.
The timing is pretty quick. This is one of the more straightforward pit stops, so it's probably closer to about 20 to 25 seconds.
Yeah, so the top 2 looking comfortable here for that podium finish. Clapjack himself is up another 6 seconds. So our podium runners currently are racing in a league of their own. Straggly Rex will certainly be looking to make moves, kind of cutting into that 6-second lead there, but it's still remaining pretty steady.
Take a look at the battle for P7 is shaping up to be an interesting little fight here. Peak Hour is trying to get past. Does he have the speed? It looks like he will have the speed necessary to take P7 as he comes through for lap 19 down the first straight.
Now, something I do want to note, let me pull it up here. Born Ready, although they're comfortably in first, they do have that penalty to deal with. So it makes me wonder.
I believe it's a 3-second track limit penalty. So as it stands right now, if the race were over right at this moment, Born Ready would still keep first. So if he keeps on the current pace that he is, and he does appear to continue to widen his lead, he should be comfortably still able to get maximum points here during this race weekend.
Yeah, so it's just a matter, when you factor in the penalties, he's really only got about 0.2 of an advantage.
Interesting. I think we're seeing a little bit of team strategy here. Agog letting Six Char go, knowing that Six Char has the fresher tires. He is basically letting the Shark loose into the water here to try and overtake as much as he can here in these last 7 laps.
And you know for sure he'll be gunning for Sammy Cush here in short order.
Caution appears to be sorted through in Sector 2.
I believe Skilly, who was sitting in P14, must have made a move on Dirty Asian. May have gotten a little hairy there. But Skilly gets it done. Dirty Asian will certainly be looking to take that position back.
And Sammy Cush overtakes P7 back from peak hour. I think it is going to exchange hands a few more times here during this race because they are both so close to each other with such comparable wear on their tires that they're going to stay within striking distance for the rest of this race.
I certainly am interested to see. So the team strategy we were talking about earlier, it looks like they swap positions again. I'd imagine Agog got the DRS advantage to get the move done once again. Six Char finds himself back into 10th. So these two are going to keep it competitive. No give-me's at all. Six Char certainly going to be looking to make moves with these fresher tires. But Picard will not give it up either. Elon Rogan ahead of Sammy Cush by 9, almost 10 seconds now. With another 3-second gap to Don Duch in 5th. The gap now between Clapjack and Jazbo up to 21 seconds. So really, like I mentioned before, the podium finishers are really running their own race here. Clapjack, I believe, is also sitting on a 3-second penalty. And with that being said, he's still comfortably 4 seconds ahead of Straggly Rax. Born Ready's going to have to extend this lead out further if he wants to comfortably finish in first, given he really only has that 5/10 buffer, make that 4/10. Six Star makes the move again, but there's a little bit of contact there with his teammate.
Almost did a little bit of contact. They are really getting aggressive here.
Like I said, from what we're seeing here, I don't think there's any team strategy being put into play here. Let the boys race. A little bit of contact, but I don't think there was any damage sustained. Agog managed to keep all 4 wheels on track. And, oh, right as I say that, Six Char goes wide into the sand trap, makes his way back on track, but it looks like that's going to give Agog a perfect opportunity to dive to the inside. And, oh, we do have some sort of contact there. The teammates take themselves out. Or at least it would appear that Six Char...
I'm not sure how much that's going to really affect the outcome of this race. They were trying to get back up to catch up to Sammy Cush and peak hour, but the hard part is that they are so close to each other and can DRS tow each other forward that it's hard to tell how much Agog and Six Char would really be able to make a dent in that lead that those cars have. So as long as both cars for Haas can finish this race, they should still be able to wrap up as much the 9th and 10th position here and still get some points on the board for each of them.
With teammates fighting like that, though, too, you're also losing some time fighting around these corners, allowing peak hour to extend that gap now up to 4 seconds. Six Char falls back by 3. I do have a replay of that. I don't know how cleanly I caught this, but it started with Six Char going wide, losing quite a bit of time to Agog. Agog goes onto the inside here, into the hairpin. And it looks like... Thank goodness that he ghosted there. Otherwise, that would have been a potential double DNF between both cars. Or excuse me, it was Six Char on the outside who was going for the overtake and just got just enough contact with Agog, who looks like they just went just wide there. Enough to make contact with Six Char and send him into the sand trap there, unsettling the car entirely. Fortunately, it looks like there was no major damage, and both will continue this race, but from a team strategy perspective, I'm going to try to keep it clean. Maybe, use that DRS tow to your advantage like you were mentioning earlier, to cut down on this gap to peak hour, which actually Agog is doing a good job of. He's just cut down 7/10 since I last checked, or about 6. So he's only 2 seconds behind Peak Hour, and I'm sure he'd be more than happy to get into this battle for P7. Peak Hour pulling away with the DRS there, going into turn 1. All other gaps remain somewhat consistent. I'm not seeing too many other gaps closing or gaining. Don Duch does fall just within a second of Straggly Rex, so I believe Don Duch has made up quite a bit of ground there. He's going to be looking to fight Straggly Rex for that P4 position if he can fall into that DRS range, which he is only a few hundredths away from. Just checking our chat. AK Pounders 47, invite me back to the race. I'm not sure. Is that AK 3000? Oh, my apologies if I missed that. AK is well behind now. I guess, did you notice him leave the session at all? I did not notice that.
I didn't see it.
And even worse, I don't think I have AK. Oh, I do. I have him as a friend.
Peak Hour is trying to make a move. Wow, he's able to make a move through the Casio Triangle. Interesting call to try and get that move in right before the DRS zone.
Apologies, AK. I did not see you leave the session. I don't think either of us did, actually. I gotta be better at paying attention to that. I saw the network communications coming up on the top of the screen. But that's been happening quite a bit this race. There's been certainly some connectivity issues. Once again, I see it pop up.
It's definitely been happening with this race as some of the DNFs have been leaving the lobby. We've been seeing it too, so apologies for the miss.
I did send the invite. I mean, AK is now 30 seconds behind. I do feel bad about that. I guess that may have been quite a while ago. I set up the stream to have our live chat appear on our main screen here, but it only works with Twitch. It does not work with YouTube, so it's hard to keep track of all the chat between Discord and YouTube. We will certainly look to do a better job going forward.
Also, interesting development here as we look for a battle for P4 as Don Duch has closed the gap to Straggly Rex and just now entering striking distance with DRS. He might not be able to get the overtake here, but he is going to be right on.
Oh, severe collision.
There's a rear collision. Hopefully we're still able to continue racing here because I think we would all hate to see this race conclude under a safety car.
Dirty Agent did take the brunt of that damage, and he's going to be fighting back for that. I didn't catch what that was, but his wing is severely damaged. With only a couple laps to go, I mean...
He does not have a left half of his front wing.
That's tough. Did not catch what happened there. Don Duch, though, this is interesting. He has been fighting for the last, essentially since he put these hards on, he has been catching up to Straggly Rex. Looking at the strategies here, both of them are on identical tires. Don Duch has just had some good race pace. Now, clearly, Straggly Rex is aware of this. He certainly sees Don Duch in his rearview mirror, and he's looking to keep him out of that DRS range. Holding it under a second still, just about 9/10. Don Duch may be saving his battery. He is not, actually. He's down to just 3%. He's going to have to rely entirely on this
Casio Triangle. And if Don Duch can get a clean exit here, he should be in good shape. And he saves a few fractions of a second and is going to give himself a really good opportunity to probably not overtake with how low a downforce setup Straggly Rex is
with
running.
The battery where it's at, it's going to be really tough to make that move. Ideally, given he's on lap 26 here, he's going to want to save as much battery as possible.
Wide. Goes a little wide. That's going to hurt him. That is not quite going to take him out of DRS range, but it is going to make it a lot harder for him to catch up and save a few fractions of seconds here. as we're winding down. He is running out of opportunities. So if he's going to make it happen, he's got to push here soon.
Meanwhile, Born Ready is now 4.2 seconds ahead. Uh-oh. LK goes into the pits. He's going to hop onto a set of softs.
He might just be trying to go for fastest lap.
Potentially, but that's an interesting call because you won't get any extra points for that unless you're top 10. So, why not? He's got 35 seconds behind, but he's still going to be in 11th. So, interesting call there. We'll see if he'll put up that fastest lap, although it will not yield him any points in the 11th spot there. Don Duch, again, is going to look to make the move on Struggly Rex on this final straight. Going into lap 27.
Oh, he's made some contact,
he made contact. Struggly Rex gets a penalty, too. That is brutal stuff.
3-second penalty for corner cutting. That looks like it's going to make the difference.
Now, that might need to be reviewed by the stewards there, because it looks like Don Duch essentially had shoved him off track there, making some contact to Struggly Rex's rear.
It definitely looked like there was contact from Don Duch rear-ending him. So it seems like that's what enforced the corner cutting, but I don't know if that 3-second penalty should be enforced on Straggly Rex for those events.
Pikauer getting past Agok here on the last lap as well. Both of them running under 20% battery. Pikauer just over the 20% mark. Born Ready is running away with this one. 5 seconds ahead going into the last couple corners here. We
also got a battle for P7 as Agog is, with slightly fresher tires, is trying to overtake Pikauer in P7.
Born Ready crosses the line P1. We'll see Jazbo cross in P2. And here shortly, this must be a blue flag that I'm witnessing here. We'll have Captain Clapjack make the final couple corners here and take P3 by quite some margin there, even with the penalties included. Don Duch is going to ride all over the back of Straggly Rex going into these final couple corners, knowing, though, that he does have this penalty to bail him out. We'll see if that stands, given the incident that we saw. It looks like that track limits was essentially caused by Don Duch's contact. But regardless, he'll take P4 temporarily here, as far as we know.
And Agog making an aggressive move, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Real great finish here. Just not quite enough going into the final couple corners. And the remainder of the field ends a lap behind. So real quick, I do have the replay of Don Duch making the move into Casio corner. Triangle, excuse me. We'll see what kind of contact. Oh, there certainly was some contact, it looks like. Hard to see from that angle, but definitely caused that corner cutting penalty. But not to take away from our podium. So Born Ready gets it done very cleanly. One penalty, 3-second penalty, but with his 5-second lead, he takes that podium with ease. So Kick Sauber finds themselves on the top step, joined by the Red Bulls and the Alpines. Real quick, while we load up the final standings, I can pull up standings going into the race, that is. So Born Ready will certainly be taking the lead in the championship up to, looks like he had the fastest lap as well. So he'll be up to the 51-point mark. Agog, who had won last week's race, looks like he's going to finish all the way down in 8th, still putting some points on the board. Trackside did not race tonight. Late Bloomer, the unexpected DNF from earlier today, will be falling down the rankings quite a bit. Now Jazbo, on the other hand, the Red Bull, coming into the race with 15 points, is going to tack on another 18 points with a second place finish. Captain Clapjack, who is 5th coming into tonight with 19 points, will add another 15 points on top of that 19, excuse me. So we'll see how all these standings shake out. But as I mentioned before, Born Ready will easily take the lead here with 51 points going into round 4. And then just for reference, here are our team standings. And we'll take a look at how these shake out later this afternoon. Well, good racing from all. A couple unexpected DNFs for sure. Late bloomer with the excellent lap in qualifying. Doesn't find the same luck on track. Same pace. Does not find the same pace there. Mike, do you have any closing remarks?
Just a really exciting day of racing. I'm glad we ended up getting a really good set of weather to see some really aggressive driving and some really, really impressive pace from all the drivers out there this afternoon.
Absolutely. Well, as always, it's been a pleasure. We will catch you guys. Well, hold on a minute. Before I log off here, I do want to double check the schedule. I know next week will be the 4th of July, so I'm not sure if they're planning on going forward with the race. I can check the calendar for you real quick. July 4th, Shanghai. It is listed as a race. I don't know if that'll be moved, and if it's not, I'm not sure what kind of attendance we'll be expecting on a July 4th evening. But either way, we will see you guys next week, and it's been a pleasure. Great job to the podium finishers, and see you guys all again soon.